1 2. Check 1 2. We good now? All right. There we go. All right. I don't know what's going on. It's like an auto reset on my audio. All right. So, hey, expectation for the video. Let's go ahead and give some feedback as much as you can. Appreciate it, Jervine. Give me some feedback, positive, negative, don't matter. We want to get better. I want to make sure that I'm presenting things that the audience wants to hear about, wants to see. And we're going to get started here. This is the greatest bull market of all time. That is the thesis going forward. If you're new to investing, pay attention. If you're already a veteran or you've been in the markets, let's go ahead and confirm what we're about to get over the long term, right? This is not about day trading. Is there swing trade opportunities? 100%, right? But the opportunity in general, greatest setup, right? Because we can never predict what happens. Maybe an atomic bomb goes out. We don't know. But this is the greatest setup of all time. And I'm going to explain to you why that is. And we're going to go through stocks too. So if you can look at the bottom there, we're going to go through basically fiscal stimulus, right? The strongest drivers of the market, fiscal stimulus, monetary stimulus. Those are the macro setups, plus all the health indicators of investor confidence, investor sentiment. We have a lot of good indicators, and then we're going to go through the themes of the market. And I put home builders and big pharma at the end because it's not part of my investing theme, but though there's some good trade setups in home builders and big pharma, right? So we have the charts here. Like I said, throw in the feedback if you have it. And I would appreciate some feedback, right? Don't be shy out there. I want to hear your ideas and what you guys have to say. All right. So first, let's go ahead and start with fiscal stimulus. Okay. We do have a Chainlink up here because this is, I think, one of the top 3 best ideas. FYI, right? For your information, for the record, we were long Tesla in 2019. Before it exploded, we said, hey, that'll be a $1 trillion industry, $1 trillion stock. Palantir in 2020, matter of fact, it was 2020. Palantir, $1 trillion. Look at it now, it's about 300 billion. I think Chainlink sitting at an 8. Well, now it's about 10 billion market cap. This is a $1 trillion coin up there with Ethereum. Ethereum will be there. I don't believe XRP can do it. Sorry. Solana, maybe. I think it comes up short, but we've been long crypto for a while. And there's a lot of converging narratives, but remember this, if anything, Chainlink, remember that name. It's really big. We're going to go over that later. So let's talk about this bull market, right? Fiscal stimulus is one of the strong. In 2017, Trump cut taxes, market explodes. The entire year just went straight up. The best idea was Amazon back in 2017. The stock pretty much went straight up the entire time. Okay. Here you get tax cut stimulus. Now, how the market reacts depends on other factors, but Amazon basically went from, let's say he gets elected, $35 all the way through 2018, just didn't really stop, up 185%. Okay, the point is, fiscal stimulus is strong, and we're not just getting tax cuts, we're getting the biggest tax cut of all time. That is rocket fuel for markets. That's all you need to know. Rocket fuel is coming into markets. What about trade policy? That is part of it, yes. But the market is now ignoring all these, Trump, the market is now ignoring this because what did we see when we had a potential trade war, a deficit? Trump pivoted. He's going to pivot to accommodate markets. He's not stupid, right? And I think Scott Bessent has a lot to do with that. Either way, fiscal stimulus is coming into the market. You're going to get gigantic tax cuts, rocket fuel for markets. Deregulation, what does that do? Unlocks innovation, the ability for investors to now say, hey, let's invest in this because now it's legal. Now, I don't have to worry about a red flag or something popping out of nowhere, stopping, my investment from building. So deregulation is huge for financials, industrials, for tech. I think crypto has the biggest edge when it comes to that deregulation. And we're starting to see it. Bitcoin now at all-time highs, right? So we got deregulation, monetary stimulus. This one's very, very tricky. The Fed's going to cut in September. They want to cut in July, but they probably can't yet because of the rhetoric. They don't really need to cut. And this is key. The Fed's going to cut because they can, not because they have to. That's a key difference. If they had a cut, that means the economy is weak and they need to come in to save the economy, to prevent it from going into recession, which destroys the stock market and a lot of growth, right? But the Fed is not doing that. The Fed is saying, look, we would have cut without Trump's tariffs. We would have cut already, at least one time, because inflation is low. Inflation is still disinflating. Oil prices were your last chance for the bears to say, oh my God, inflation. Nope, oil's down. Now you have solar energy. You got all these renewables coming into the market. What does that mean? Lower oil prices, the demand goes down while the supply of oil goes up. OPEC increasing production at a massive rate. Game over. There's no inflation. We've been saying this forever. There's no inflation, right? So the Fed can cut. We know the housing market is weak. We know that the employment market is slowing a bit because of technology. And the goal here for the Fed is to make sure we have maximum employment. So they need to cut, and reduced price inflation. Price inflation is not here, right? At a certain rate. At a certain rate, you're always going to have prices rise at a certain rate. You want that rate to be 2.5%, 3%. Guess what? We're at 2. We're at 2.5, whatever. We have another inflation report coming up. The Fed's going to cut monetary stimulus. What else? They cut one time. That's okay. But it's really about the credit and the debt and the lending market. Okay. So the lending market wants, some reassurance that somebody's going to be buying the debt to lower interest rates, to lower long-term interest rates. So let's go ahead and switch to macro here. This is the setup, right? And maybe I'm making it a little complicated. So let me simplify it. And I see you out there, Jervine. We're going to jump you on there. All right. Jervine says, do you think Trump has more ability to be more aggressive with tariffs now, especially with markets across broad? Yeah, I think he's being more aggressive because we're at all-time highs. So he's kind of playing that game where it's like, okay, I have more leverage, less risk. Let's be more aggressive. But he'll flip. He's going to flip. He's going to be more accommodative. And honestly, this is a good long-term style. It's not a good short-term style. It's a good long-term style. Short-term volatility, but you need volatility, for markets to really trend higher. Now, here's the key. Look, the VIX is not even going up. The VIX is flat. The VIX is now beneath the level you need. Like above 20, something's brewing. There's risk in the market. Below 20, if we're just consolidating, this is a bull market. This is going to trend higher consistently, right? Not too worried about it. So we come down to 15. That's the next level. We might get a spike to 20. What would be the catalyst to go to, spike to 20? It could be just positioning in the market. We're very bullish. And what I see there, Jervine, and a lot of you out there, is there is room for the market to compress a little bit. It's been expanding for a while. So there's going to be some room. That's good. This VIX to 20, if we get a VIX popping to 20, that's a buy the dip, right? We're basically in a regime where if you have fear, uncertainty, volatility, you want to buy that dip. For example, Oklo, the valuation's too big, right? This is nuclear power. They have one of the only technologies, these small modular reactors. A lot of people have SMRs, but they have special micro reactors that other companies do not have. They're not they're not pre-revenue, they're pre-profit. I don't even know if they have, are they pre-revenue? I don't think they're pre-revenue. They just don't have any, they're not making money, right? And this is a 10 billion market cap valuation. It's a big valuation. The technicals look smooth, but I want to see Oklo drop a little further. Okay, we're going to get into this too. We're going to get into all these stocks. I just want to give you the setup, fiscal stimulus, tax cuts, rocket fuel for markets. Fed turning dovish, rocket fuel for confidence more than anything. Fed's going to cut rates. Bank QE, right? What is bank QE? Commercial banks, right now, the deregulation, they're reducing the requirements for leverage. They're basically allowing banks to leverage up on US treasuries. So if they can do that, that's pure liquidity. That's QE. When you hear quantitative easing, that is the Federal Reserve injecting liquidity, injecting money into the system by buying US treasuries. Well, guess what? Now the banks are doing it. So the Fed's balance sheet might be flat, which is good. They're ending QT. Okay, so the Fed's balance sheet is flat. Remember, when it goes up, that's fuel for the markets. That's free money. That's what happened in 2019. If you have a crisis, boom, little $500 billion injection. But you can see it's starting to flatten out here, right? They're going to be flat going into 2026. I think at the end of the year, there's no more quantitative tightening at all. It's pretty much done, right? And do they start QE right away? Probably not. But The banks are doing it. The banks are they're lowering those requirements, so they're going to be doing the QE. Back to SPY. Crypto QE. Oh, I mean, stable coins. We're headed into basically a new world for finance where it's all blockchain technology. A lot of evidence for that, which we're going to dive into a little bit later. These banks, all cash, the system, the plumbing of the financial system is going to is going to have a new layer, right? It's adopting a new layer. This is Web3. This is blockchain. The new layer is blockchain technology on top of the current financial system, the current internet. What does that mean? Well, that's a whole deep dive, but they need to create more stable coins. In order to create that, you're going to need to purchase treasuries to back those stable coins, which means there's now a buyer. We talked about this a month ago. Why we're bullish, why we're going all-time highs in July. We're right. What do we say? July all-time highs. We're going to rip. Strongest bull market, right? It's going to take years, but the point is there's a buyer in the debt market. So there's enough credit to fuel all these technologies. That's all it is. There's enough credit to compete with China, and fueling all these new AI systems, blah, 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 power generation, which we're going to go through. So monster tax cuts, rocket fuel, dovish Fed, QE from the banks. What else we have? QE from crypto, right? Oh, QT's done. We talked about that. Now the credit market. So one way to look at the credit market, triple B spreads, it just gives you, if the spread's going down, that means that creditors are confident about supporting corporations. Okay. If it goes up, that means they're shifting towards treasuries as a safety, safe haven mechanism, as a safe haven defensive, to be more defensive. This goes down, it's offense. So easy way to say upside defense, downside offense. Well, guess what? We're in offense. Okay. When we had the inflation crisis back here, that was all defense. You had to get defensive, right? Defensive, right? We're in offense. We're in offense. This is an offensive regime. You should be max bullish, period. Now we go to, so credit is fine. I mean, you could even look at the junk spreads, high yield junk bonds. Tom Lee talks about it all the time. If those are going higher, that means investors are taking more risk. We broke out, we came back, we're going to probably go higher, whatever, we're going higher. Also, we have volatility. We looked at the VIX, but what about bond volatility, right? Why is that important? This is the volatility of the credit market. We're making new lows, right? Today we went up, but we just broke to new lows yesterday. And that means that there's so much confidence in the credit market to finance the bull market. The bull market is financed. Let's put it that way. Okay. The bull market, all these technologies converging at once, AI, blockchain, robotics, power generation, energy storage is huge. Battery. We got some battery tech stocks that have been blowing up. We've been signaling it in the newsletter. Check out the newsletter. It's free. Go to the go find my profile. Just subscribe, right? Check your junk mail. People are getting stuck in the junk mail. Check your junk mail. Make sure it's on there. You're going to get my recommendations. It's not financial advice, but it's what I'm doing, what I'm looking at. Hey, this is a buy. I'm using technicals and macro, not just technicals. There's a fundamental report also to show you the moat of these different technologies, different companies, stocks, whatever it is. There's going to be a breakdown on why they have a better competitive advantage than the other stocks. Okay. And this is free right now. It's going to be free forever. I don't know. Maybe I'll monetize it, but I want to prove to you guys that, hey, you don't need to pay $5,000 for these big old memberships, right? Risk management is what people really pay for. Managing risk is important. You could be right about something, manage it wrong, and really F up. So anyways, move index, credit, we're basically the bull market is already funded. It is funded. What is the biggest risk? That Trump does something stupid and creates another trade war. It's over. The market doesn't even believe in it. We're at all-time highs. It understands that Trump needs the trade. Trump is just getting maximum leverage. He'll back off if it hurts the equity market. Game over. Now let's talk about the stocks. Let's talk about the investments. Let's talk about the assets that you should be bullish on. Okay. All right. So we're going to go through the themes. First of all, our highlight of the day, we have NVIDIA. This is kind of where everything started, right? The bear market was in 2022, and then NVIDIA exploded. Right now, it's the biggest stock in all time of all history, $4 trillion valuation. And that means the chips in general are on a roll. So Nvidia is leading the charge as usual. Is it really leading? I don't know. Bitcoin still has outperformed Nvidia. If you go back, I believe you go back to 2020, Bitcoin is still in the lead, and Bitcoin's about to take that lead even further. Why? Because the crypto industry is the earliest. AI has been in the works for a while. Machine learning, blah, blah, blah. Blockchain is brand new. You have to be bullish on blockchain technology, but make sure you're in the right ones. Okay. And we're going to go through that. So BTC, a lot of you guys are probably crypto guys, and there's a couple look at that volume. Beautiful breakout. I mean, look at this. Look at this beautiful breakout. Broke out, held that support, climbed higher. And everybody's, we're like, hey, are we gonna go crazy? Are we gonna go crazy? My price target for Bitcoin is 150, just to make it an easy number, between 150, 160. And then if we get the second leg, what is that second leg? Right now, the employment market, right, is slowing. That's good. It's slowing at a slow pace. There's no crisis brewing, even though you see it every day. Listen, these people online for clicks, they're full of shit. Okay. There's a crisis coming. The economy is the debt, it doesn't effing matter what the effing debt is. What matters is, what is the rate on that debt? Is the rate too high or not? And it's not too high. We have creditors in the market via bonds, equities, corporates, whatever. There's enough creditors to credit the market to keep going higher. Forget the crisis. What are you going to do? Go buy bonds? They don't perform, right? What are you going to do? Bitcoin doesn't give a shit. Okay, these technologies do not care about your stupid debt problem. And the smartest people on the planet, listen, crypto solves it. CCIP, not CCIP. Proof of reserves is what we're going to get in the new layer of the financial system, which means you're going to prove bank to bank. They're building their own blockchains, like a JP Morgan, like BlackRock. You're going to be able to prove in real time if somebody has a collateral to back the assets, to back the deposits. So you're not going to get another financial crisis, right, just out of nowhere. This 2008 is over. This is the strongest bull market setup of all time. What's going to cause a bear market is too much extreme bullishness, where prices just get way, like, 2000 or 1999, the dot-com bubble. That's what will cause the bear market, because things are going to get too heavy to the upside. When does that happen? I think it's going to be 2027, 2028. This is very strong. So we have Bitcoin breaking out. It looks like a lot of people like to see those technicals. Let's do a little, I'll do a little measurement. We're going to take the recent high from before. We're going to measure it. Oh, I'm sorry, I did that wrong. Okay. We're going to take the recent low, which was around $1 trillion, take it up to that last high, pull it back, and we're going to get our Fibonacci, right? It's just a good model. And we're going to go to the 1, right? Just the 1. We're not going to the 0.168, just the 1. Conservatively, we're looking at a 3.2 trillion. I mean, I should have been on Coinbase so you can actually see the price, right? Let's go ahead and look at the price here. So let's measure this, boom, boom. And this is a rough estimate, okay? The 1 takes us to 165,000, right? 165, I think that's the next stop, somewhere in this gray area, 140 to 160. Let's call it that. If we get the second leg, what causes a second leg is going to be, like I said, employment is slowing. That gives the Fed room to cut rates, not too fast, but a slow cut, a slow burn. Slow burn extends the cycle. ISM, you need to get on the newsletter so you can see the ISM. It usually peaks at 65. It's like a wave. It goes up and down. That's where Bitcoin usually peaks at, because it's max risk. This cycle is different because now you have corporations holding Bitcoin. You have other countries. Either way, we want to see the ISM manufacturing cycle. That thing barely, it's not even in a bullish territory yet. We have a lot of room to go. I think we're going to 200,000. Right, I think we can hit that 1.618. 250K would be the upper limit. I don't think we're going to 500. I know people say 1 million. I don't think so. I think 250 max minimum. Maybe we get stuck at 164, right? Maybe we get stuck at 164. But this is driven by macro. It's not driven by technicals. The technicals are just a map for where price could go, price analysis, right? Now, I'm even more bullish on Ethereum. We're starting with crypto, because crypto is going to lead this risk rally right now. Now, for Ethereum, you're going to measure it differently, because at least I do, because it hasn't really performed. So we're going to have to go all the way back to June 2022, measure to the recent top, everybody's top there, boom. Where does that take us? Anywhere between, damn it, got the damn market cap on here. Where does ETH hit $1 trillion? Well, let's look at that. ETH hits $1 trillion. I guess I can't see the price from here. Let me try to measure this. ETH hits $1 trillion if we go up 175%. All right, so let's go find Coinbase. How's the volume? Do we have any comments? Tom Lee, ETH Treasury. Yeah, we're gonna go over that, Jervine, too. Let's talk about that. Tom Lee promoting the hell, right? Like a Tom, like the Michael Saylor supporting the hell out of an ETH Treasury as an asset, which we talked about. If you go look at my writings, nobody's gonna look. Nobody wants to go through that. It's just a record. We talked about ETH being a treasury way back because of the yield that it offers. And let's talk about Ethereum for you guys that are new. What is it? What is Ethereum in simple terms? So 175%. Ethereum hits $1 trillion at 8,000. Okay, 8,000. My price target is somewhere between, I want to say 6 and 10,000 for this cycle, either late 2025, early 2026. Maybe it goes into next summer. We don't know. But so far, that's what I'm looking at, somewhere around there. So what is Ethereum? Ethereum is important because we see stable coins absolutely exploding, right? You see Circle, SRCL, Circle going crazy. The valuation is insane. Everybody's getting into stable coins. It's digital cash. It's basically the real digital dollar. Okay, stable coins are a better way to transact, to settle payments instantly. They're programmable, XYZ, blah blah blah. Right? Stable coins are built on Ethereum. So Ethereum, in a way, is the real estate or the property that holds this digital payments network. So if you hold ETH, you're really stabilizing the network of the blockchain financial system. So ETH is in a sense like buying a commercial real estate property, and then you put stable coins in there, right? So if you buy a commercial, let's say you buy a property, right? Commercial real estate in a venue. Somebody's going to come, they need to rent from you and create their businesses and offer their services. Same thing. Stable coins come in, they're built on Ethereum, they have their services, you can build other DeFi projects. And so if you own the real estate, you're getting a yield from Ethereum and price appreciation. You're also getting equity in a sense that supports these services, whether it's stable coins, DeFi, meme coins, whatever it is. Okay. Solana, I'm sorry. I know you guys love Sol. I'm not a fan. And I'm not saying Solana is trash. I'm saying that, Raoul Paul recently dumped Solana. It doesn't have everybody's saying it's going to eat ETH. It's going to, kill Ethereum. I don't think so. It looks good though. I mean, I hope it goes up. I'm just saying, based off what I've seen and my understanding and my research, Solana has limited upside. Ethereum has way more upside. Not this cycle. I mean, obviously Solana's pretty, it's smaller than ETH, but it's getting up there. I mean, it's catching up. If you look 10 years down the road, though, I still think Ethereum has a better long-term value than Solana. XRP, sorry, I'm not a fan at all. Way too big. I know you guys love XRP, and it's a beautiful. I say if every time XRP spikes, sell it and go buy Chainlink okay? Because everybody loves XRP. It has the crowd, so it's a great ride. I don't think it's sustainable long term. This big, it's 179 billion. This thing is bigger. It's a large cap stock, and what does it provide? Nobody knows. What is the real long term value? Nobody knows. Ethereum is property for stablecoins. XRP is not. XRP is cross border payments. Well, guess what? You don't need them anymore because you have, these private blockchains that are creating their own blockchain to do their own payments. They do not need XRP anymore. Sorry, I'm not snorting cocaine. I got an itchy nose. I know it looks like it. I looked at my video the other day and I was like, damn, looks like I'm doing cocaine. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. Anyways, back to it. XRP, hey, whatever. I'm not interested. Now, what are those stocks that are going up because they're holding Ethereum? This might be a trade. We're going to shift a little bit over to trade. This is very high risk. BMNM, is it? What is it? Hold on. I bought a little bit of it. I'm watching the technicals right now. You guys know what the ticker is? You know what I'm talking about, right? It's Tom Lee's BMNR. There you go. BMNR. All right. So they're holding Ethereum. They're basically a copycat MicroStrategy, but with Ethereum. Market cap's like 300, 200. Now it's like 250 million. This could do a 4x to a billion easily, right? It's just pulling back. I don't know where the support's at. Let's do a little bit of technicals. I tried to get in yesterday, right here at 46. I think I bought it from 46 to 48, and then I sold it today after it couldn't hold. I'll buy back, nothing big, but I'll buy back. I might even buy some right now before the market ends. I think it does rip. You just got to watch it. It's all hype. But as Ethereum appreciates, this thing can explode. It's a little stock market meme coin, pretty much. So BMNR, Tom Lee supporting it. I think it goes a lot higher from here, especially in this type of bull market, right? Bitmine, and it went up how much? It went up 3,000% in like 4 days. Went from $4, damn, 3,600%, $4 to $161. They sure did price it, nicely. So that's one of those. And there's a bunch of other ones. I'm not too interested in it. You got, your miners too, blah, blah, blah. But Ethereum looks good. Now, Chainlink, that's my coin. Okay. What is Chainlink? Well, the entire ecosystem. This is the glue that holds together the entire ecosystem. All the price feeds on public blockchains, like private property. I think of it like computers. All blockchains are computers, right? The entire crypto ecosystem is a bunch of blockchain computers, but they need a connection in order for their services to actually have utility. Chainlink is the connection. It is the internet connection to connect blockchain to blockchain. More importantly, it's the connection to connect the crypto ecosystem to the real world, which is why I think it has the most value per pound, right? If you're like heavyweight fighters, they hit hard, Bitcoin, whatever. This is the pound for pound best fundamentals I've seen since Palantir. Okay. Since Palantir, pound for pound, right? So this connects everything. It also has services within it. It also has computing services within it. There's a reason why Google's using it. There's a reason why I believe Amazon might be using it, but Google's using it. Tesla's used it because it also does computation, blockchain computation. It's a new innovation, didn't exist, hasn't existed. You're getting in early as shit. Okay. Just remember Chainlink. It has not performed great. I mean, if you bought it down here, like we told you back in 2023, you'd still be up 3x your money. But I expected it to perform better. Hasn't. That's fine. As this thesis goes from stablecoins to Ethereum, the end goal is, oh, wait a minute, what's the infrastructure that holds everything together? What the hell is Chainlink? Oh, CCIP, cross-chain interoperability, connecting all things, proof of reserves. The new system needs to prove things are true in real time. It's already being used by ARC online. JP Morgan's using proof of reserves for payments. We can go all day. Okay. Just subscribe to the newsletter, do your own research. I'm going to do a video purely on Chainlink again. I'm trying to make it simple for people to understand. This is the best opportunity, I think. It doesn't mean go all in. If you're new, definitely don't do that. But this is the opportunity, right? And it looks like it's starting to rip now. You guys are probably sick of me saying it, but you'll see. It's starting to break technically. You never know, but we did get a little double bottom here. Okay, we got a lot of momentum picking up. This is on the daily. If we go to the weekly, let's see what we got on the weekly. We got momentum on the weekly. We almost broke out here, then we got stuffed, came back. I think it's on. Like we got the stable. We also have the crypto framework that's coming into play where they clarify the framework for different securities. And I think that's going to be the next big catalyst, other than just the fact that Bitcoin's breaking out. Now I want to move over to these other commodities, these other, other themes, right? Let's start with power generation. We already know AI is a big thing. My top AI plays are Palantir, okay? But guess what? It's up too much. It's up too much. So let's do a little analysis on Palantir. Where do you want to buy it? Okay. Let's take the volume off to get it out the way. Palantir's losing momentum, and I still think it's the best AI play purely, but you want a reversal. So we're going to do a fib retracement. Okay. Fib retracement 129 was a good buy. I want to see it get under. I think we can come back to 120. Damn, that thing is launching off. If it gets under 130, I want to say you scale in. Anything under 120, you get hard. You go hard, right? And then 100 is probably the best price that you're going to get. I hope it goes lower. Like, just wait, be patient. Don't chase it, even though it looks like a chase. It looks a lot like Hood, right? A lot of retail investors. It's going to give you an opportunity. We're going to get a kickback. There's going to be a rotation. These things are going to get destroyed, and you want to buy when it gets destroyed. Tempest AI, it's coming into the buy zone. I think this is where you start to scale in for Tempest. What is this? This is AI software for healthcare. It's a 10 billion market cap. The first signal is way back here when Nancy Pelosi bought it, right? Does she still own it? I don't know. I think her call option was like till December 2021. But what they basically do is AI and machine learning in the healthcare sector. We're going to need that going forward. So Kathy Wood has it. I think this is a good, it's still consolidating. It hasn't really broken out of the long-term trend, but when it does, how high can this go? Right? What are we looking at here? All right. I think we're looking at a good $100 and then a big jump to like 200. We'll see. We need more deregulation, but I think it's near a buy zone. Okay. Next one is digital manufacturing. So this Exometry has a and this is in the fringe. A lot of people probably never talk about this, but this is digital manufacturing. You're early. They're not profitable yet. They have some debt that they need to pay off. They're as soon as they go profitable though, which they will be soon, I think they're close to it. They're like on the edge. It's going to explode. It's going to explode. There's a lot of demand for manufacturing. We're onshoring, we're reshoring into the US. The entire supply chain is restructuring. And I think they stand to have one of the biggest upsides. This is a $30 trillion industry. If they capture 0.5%, 1%, that takes revenue to 10 billion, right? In 2030, 2035. I think this stock is sitting at what are we at? Our market cap is 1.75 billion. I think we can go to 10 billion in 2026 as the ISM appreciates, right? Watch the ISM. This is going to align with the ISM. So the manufacturing sector hasn't even picked up yet. Once it does, this thing launches. And all-time highs, I think it goes to 100. I think it's going to be $100 stock early 2026. Okay, because it's a small cap. It's a small cap. It is getting ready to launch. So I like Exometry. The next one I seen here, Amit was talking about this. You guys know Amit. And I've also had this on my radar because I remember seeing it break out. I was like, what the hell? And I started using Lemonade. Lemonade is way easier to deal with than calling people. It's insurance, property insurance, renter's insurance, car insurance, life insurance, every insurance using AI. So you get a quote really quick. From what I've seen, this thing can scale, right? Let me take my gum out. From what I've seen, this can really scale. And the technicals look pretty good. They're set to, disrupt the insurance business. And I think they're just really, look at that. That's a nice little wedge. This thing tightens up, boom. Where does it go? The market cap's around, we got a 2 billion. Easy 20 billion market cap. Easy 20 billion. That takes price to, let's say, a 5x from here, about a $200 share. As we get liquidity, as we get, there's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of money out there. So I like Lemonade. Okay, that's another AI software. All right, AI hardware. I like AMD. Man, the technicals on AMD are beautiful. We call this trade. We made a video. We're about right here. I made a video. I said AMD is breaking out. Now it's broken the second level. And now it's basically in liftoff mode. It's a good trade. Is it going to be your biggest position? No, but it's a solid position. Obviously, NVIDIA is the monster here, but AMD is going to be competing. Gaming will come back. They do a lot of gaming, data centers for gaming. And I think AMD goes to about 250 in 2026. That's going to be my price target, somewhere around 250. If you have questions, throw it up there a little more. TSMC, I think it's up too much. I could be wrong. ASML. This one looks good too. Look at this is the only. So what they do is they have the machine that creates the chips that TSM uses. So this is located in a couple places on on the planet internationally. They basically have this big machine that creates the very base level of chip. So sort of the basic structure for chips, and then TSM creates the chip further. And I'm not a technician, so I don't know how to explain it. But they're before TSM. You need ASML. There's only one of these in the world. Nobody else has it. It's a German, I believe. I think it's German, of course, right? But it's at a good price. It's trending. So market cap will be it's at 300 billion. This is $1 trillion. I believe I think it triples. I think it triples. You just want to have it. It's a monopoly, right? There's nobody else that can match them. I'm not really going to go to TSM. So that's AI hardware. Let's go to power generation. These are interesting because there's just not enough power. GE Vernova, very strong stock. A lot of people, have been chasing it already. It's trending. You can see what do they do? Nuclear, solar, hydro. So this is just power generation to power data centers, etc. I wouldn't chase this though. Big market cap. We're talking 147 billion. That is a large cap. I want to wait for a pullback on GE Vernova. If it ever comes down to 500, I want to say 500 is a good spot. Okay, we're on the daily chart, and I want to say somewhere around 500. That puts us right here. It's okay. It's all right. Vistra, another power generation, more of a utility play, where GE Vernova is what? This is in the industrial space, so more industrial use cases, components, blah, blah, blah. Vistra's in utility, so I believe they power like 15 million homes. They power homes also, right? So this is utility power generation and data center. It's really all data center. CEG, same thing as Vistra. I like CEG a little better though. Okay. So CEG, another power generation, smaller cap. This one's, well, it's not small cap, it's a large cap. It's 100 billion. Okay. Probably has a little more consolidation. We signaled this way back here, I believe, on this pullback around 150. Okay. So it's played out, but you have to wait, be patient with these, because they can really fall, and that's when you want to grab it. I wouldn't chase them. Now, IREN, I don't even know how to, really say it. This is a weird company. They're located in Texas. They're doing Bitcoin mining power generation, and then they have high performance computing, and they compete with TeraWulf. This one has a lot of upside. A lot of people have been talking about it on Twitter. So the reason I like it for this, for where we're at in the cycle, it's a small cap. It's a 3.9, it's a $4 billion market cap. It's getting ready to break out, okay, out of this long-term trend. Really, it's at all-time highs. This is not a representation of the market cap. The market, it's already at all-time highs in terms of market cap. So a little more consolidation. If we look at the technicals, it's a little overbought. It's starting to reset. It's trying to reset. And I would just keep my eye on IREN, right? The hold of 15, as long as it holds 15, shows a lot of consolidation. And maybe it comes down lower. It's a dip buy. This is a buy the dip. TeraWulf, same thing, right? Same thing for TeraWulf. It's not at all-time highs yet. This one's a little cheaper. Same thing. They're doing solar, wind, and this is all in the newsletter if you want to check it out. It'll break down a little further on what they do, how they have a competitive advantage, XYZ. Nano Nuclear, another power generation name. This one hasn't broken out yet. I think this one's a better bet. I would actually start to get long here versus Oklo and versus SMR. SMR and Oklo, you want to wait. This one, I think you can get in sooner. Okay. And all the tickers are right here, so you can look at it. You see SMR it's rolling over. So it's in a trend. It's definitely trending. Where's that trend at? Right. I mean, we could come all the way back down to 20, probably on a sharp pullback. It's probably not going to just hold down at 20, but SMR, small modular reactors, I want to say somewhere around 2025. Goodbye. Under 30, something under 30. Oklo, you want to get under 50. Daily, people are trading Oklo, but we're getting earnings are coming up. We're about to head into earnings season. What does that mean? Probably a reset. We're probably going to get a little reset on some of these that have been exploding. Definitely want SMR, Oklo, Iran. We'll see. Okay. Now let's move over to the picks and shovels. This is nuclear. This is uranium miner, the top uranium miner. I don't really want to own it. I just have it out there because it could be good in your portfolio. It could, it's one of the top new uranium miners. The demand for uranium ain't going nowhere, but this has to reset. You can see the MACD is already rolling over. So I would look for it somewhere around 60. It's at like 72, right? Now, when it comes to power generation infrastructure, this is an industrial play. It is called Quanta Services. They're building the infrastructure, the components for multi-renewable energy sources. So if you're going to generate energy, you're probably going to hire Quanta Services to build the infrastructure for that, right? So this is going to have a bid on it for a while. I like Quanta Services. This is a defensive play, so it's kind of aerospace defensive. This is nuclear components. Definitely want to have this. Nuclear components. What is our market cap here? 12 billion. I wish it was lower. I wish it was a little lower, but this is almost done resetting. We might come down to about, wow, man, that price is up there. Let's use our profile, see where the volume's at. See, where's our volume at? I'm going to go from the lows. Okay. Damn. A lot of buys out there. Let's go back further. I just don't like the price action. 128. Yeah, I'd watch the slip to 128. 128, somewhere around there. Keep this on your watch list. All right. Now, energy storage. These are starting to break out. Enovix, we signaled it the other day at around $10. This has been in a very strong downturn. Now, these can rip. Why? This is energy storage. So once you power, you generate all this electricity. How do you build the batteries, or who is providing the battery storage for that power generation? Obviously, Tesla's number one, right? But Tesla has multiple themes: AI, robotics, power generation, energy storage, blah, 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 super manufacturing. Tesla's a, chip A1 stock. I think it's going to be the biggest in the market, but this is a small cap. This is a, what is it? 2.7 billion. I think it could be a 20 billion in a couple of years. Who knows? But if it breaks out of this, you're going to get a lot of technical trading back to all-time highs, and then maybe consolidates for a while. And who knows? It might not break out yet, but I think it's breaking out. Let's pull this up. See, we're right at the edge of the breakout. So maybe needs a little more consolidation. It is overbought, but keep your eye on Enovix, ENVX, right? Who's their main competition? And these are tiny positions. I wouldn't get big on this. I would just get tiny positions just to hold it, keep it on your watch list so you can see it when it starts to ramp up. QuantumScape, I hate this price action. I don't know what's up with this, but this is who they compete with. QuantumScape. Okay, just throw it on the watch list. It's about $10. Once you get above $10, it could be a nice trade. Maybe you just have a very small, tiny position on it. Who knows, right? Now we have Microvast Holdings. These are all energy storage plays on energy storage. This one is trending. I like this price action a lot better. Okay, so this is trending. This one looks good. I already started to dip in a little bit on this one. It's at $3. It's almost fully reset. It's a small cap too, very small cap. Small caps are going to perform. It's not even a billion, 900 million market cap. This thing can explode, right? Maybe 5 billion, 5x from here. Maybe it goes to $10, $15. When? I don't know, but I know there's a lot of the theme, a lot of the themes coming in, monetary, you're going to get a tax cut. These are going to explode when you get that first rate cut from the Fed. Okay. Fluence Energy. This one's been on a tear. It was at $3 in the lows for the tariff turmoil, and we're at $8. So it's up big. I want to see more consolidation. It's probably going to close this gap at about $11. It'll probably close the gap. So we're talking Fluence Energy, another battery. Now, I believe they're the second leading energy storage product on the market. Right. And that's arguable. Obviously, you can argue it, but Fluence is big. I think Fluence has a bigger they're doing utilities also. So they're dipped into batteries for battery storage for like the grid, right? I like this play better. It's for the grid. The grid needs a lot more there's going to be a lot more energy or investing in the grid versus Enovix and QuantumScape. They're all competing with each other. Fluence is a little different. Okay, they have big manufacturing facilities. Now, I wish I could memorize all their stuff, but I'm not that smart. So I'm just giving you the best picks from the research I've been doing. Okay. Sedge, this is now we're going into this is power generation, but also energy storage. These are solar, right? Solar energy. Now, this thing is a technical breakout. This thing was at 400 bucks. All right, way back. And obviously, solar has got a bad rap. They don't really have a big edge, but I think this one's breaking out. You can see that price action. Okay, starting to climb. I got some leap calls on this, so I think this one just breaks out. I'm not going to hold it. I wouldn't be deeply invested in it at this price. I like it, but I wouldn't go too deep on it. I would stay tiny and maybe trade it. Okay, definitely starting to break out there. Yeah, and that's the big volume bar. So once you get above 33, 34, I think it goes to like 70, 80, right? Probably goes to 100. So keep your eye on Solar Edge Technology. FSLR, this is the biggest solar company, solar power in the US. This is here in Phoenix. It's still trending. It's just been in a nasty downtrend for a while, starting to pick up now. This one I'd be more invested in. Can they be disrupted? Sure, because a lot of these other companies are actually implementing solar generation, but it's more of an energy. It's more of a energy storage play. I want to say Enphase. I don't even know what to say about Enphase. I'm just keeping it up here, right? Something bad is going on with them. This thing was like the best stock in the market for a while. 344. It's down to 34. So it's down 99, 98%. That's crazy. There's got to be a pop. There's got to be some relief at some point. We'll see. And then if you guys have seen, the government is now investing into MP materials. I remember this on the radar way back in 2020. And what is this? This is basically mining lithium ion. So in order to power, this whole thing comes together. This is a full stack: energy storage technology, and then you have the energy storage utilities that go off the grid, and then you have the solar, and then you have the material. So this is sort of like MP can be compared to Cameco, which is nuclear mining. Now we're talking about lithium mining, right? Why lithium? This is the materials that you need to build the batteries. So now the government is basically putting a bid on this. This thing, how big can it get? I don't know. The U.S. has reached a deal. I'm sorry. MP Materials has reached a deal with the U.S. Department of Defense for a minimum price of $110 per kilogram. Wow, that's crazy. So this is now government play. It's defense, right? You got to compete with China. So I don't want to chase it, but this has a bid on it. This is going to be in the bull market for sure. All right. What else we got here? We talked a little bit about blockchain. I think obviously I have Chainlink, Ethereum, Bitcoin, MicroStrategy as a trade. If you're not exposed to Bitcoin, then this is a good play. But this thing is starting to break now. Okay. All the technicals are shouting break, break, break. You had the big dip, you had the recovery, you had the flag patterns breaking that flag pattern. You have RSI starting to pick up. At least I'm trading it. RSI starting to pick up. You're going to get a huge upside. Remember, so far since MicroStrategy, or now they're called Strategy, since they started the Bitcoin strategy, they've outpaced Bitcoin by 1.7%. So almost 2 times the Bitcoin price action is what MicroStrategy moves at. My price target for MicroStrategy by end of year is somewhere between 750 and 1,000. I know that's aggressive, but who would have thought? Like, this thing moved last time from, it bottomed at 100 and it went up to 5. It did a 5x, right? And how long of a period? From August to November. So in 6 months, it did a 5x. We're starting to break out today, right? Or this week. So if we do a 3x, that takes it to 900, right? So MicroStrategy has momentum. This is a big momentum play. You also have Coinbase starting to break out. This might be a little earlier, but you're basically exposed to all altcoins in Coinbase. Coinbase is all altcoins. Circle probably has a little more room to consolidate. I think the valuation is a little stretched. I don't really like it that. Maybe there's some support here. This is probably a trade. I just think it went up too much. I think Circle went up way too much. Wait for Circle to get destroyed, right? Wait for it to drop 50%. I don't know. Maybe it fills the gap here at 130, but I'm not really buying Circle. I'm just going to keep it up here. It is the stable coin producer. There's going to be unlimited demand for that. All right, space ecosystem. You have Rocket Labs, who is trying to break out here. Right? I don't like it. I liked it back here at 25, but now it's at 38. I would wait for Rocket Labs to come back down. What are they doing? They're building space infrastructure. Basically, all the wars in the future are going to be fought. Not all of them, but cybersecurity is going to go, cybersecurity. What's the real estate for the future of tech communications? The future of communications is in the sky, not just the sky, it's in space. So satellite, this is one of the satellite infrastructure plays on space exploration. I don't really like space exploration. I like space ecosystem, right? So Rocket Labs is going to be putting up satellites where NASA has failed. They're competing with SpaceX. They're competing with, I think, just SpaceX. So we can't even get SpaceX, right? It's private. So get the next best thing. The market's going to grow. There's so much room in space. Rocket Labs has a lot. That's why the stock just goes straight up. But I wouldn't try to chase it. I would wait for it to drop maybe 25, 30%, start to nimble a little bit, see if it falls further, wait for a negative event, and then get in there. Lunar, this is Intuitive Machines. I need to do more research, but the technicals look good. This thing climbed like crazy from 3 to 23. Okay. This depends on the success of the launch. I think they failed on their last launch. So Lunar is also building infrastructure in space. How bullish do you get? I don't know. Just nibble. These are all tiny positions, right? Nothing big. Tesla is your big position. Ethereum, Bitcoin. I like Chainlink, right? What about transports? We know this is, Trump is talking about reducing what? Reducing the amount of traffic, not just Trump, but reducing traffic. So what do? You get these autonomous. Well, they're not autonomous. I don't think they're autonomous. Maybe they are. But you're getting Archer Aviation, Joby Aviation. Those are the two flying cars, they call them. They're more like electric, vertical takeoff electric vehicles. They're going to be in the big cities. I don't know how big the total addressable market is, but these are flying cars. And I don't really like to call them flying cars. I think they're just electric. I mean, what are they? Flying electric taxis, right? Flying electric taxis. Let's put it that way. Very new market, innovation. Joby's exploding. They're already in Saudi Arabia, so they're going into play. How big can they be? Who knows? The airplane industry sucks, though, and I think they're going to take off. But they're not competing with airlines. They're competing with taxi. I don't know. It's a new industry, right? So tiny position. What about 5G? This one's been doing well. Okay. They're also doing satellites, but this is for communication services. So mobile, right? They're competing with, this is Space Mobile. They're competing with Tesla, Elon's other company. What is it? I can't even think what it is. It's the 5G network, right? So we don't have access to that either. But here's one competitor, Space Mobile. The technicals look really good. Now it's starting to pull back. So I'm going to keep my eye on this for sure. I mean, it does the same thing. I don't know how long the consolidation is. I would wait for the breakout. I would wait for volume to pick up. Is it a trade? Is it if you're going to invest in it, stay tiny, right? Stay tiny. Wait for a really sharp pullback. If you're going to trade it, then you're looking for the setup. It's as easy as that. But this thing is trending higher. So you got Space Mobile throwing it on. Biotech. Okay, I like this one. Been watching this for years. CRISPR Therapeutics, right? This is the the leading, and there's other gene editing companies, but they have first mover advantage. They're not just in medicine. So this is not just about medicine, it's also about agriculture. If you can edit the genes in some of these crops, you can make them resistant to disease, resistant to water, right? Drowning in the water. And if you can do that, now you eliminate a lot of the bullshit they put inside of our food, spraying it with all these pesticides, because you can just edit the genes to do that. You can make them disease resistant, maybe not to bugs, but you can make them resistant. And that's agriculture. So this is a play in agriculture, totally new market. Also medicine. None of us have gene editing. You can't just go to the doctor and be like, hey, can you edit disease out of my genes? Right. So this is very, very early. Stay small, but it is breaking out of this large flag pattern. Right. And this thing's been forming for a long time. I think the real breakout's over 70. If you get over 70 and you have deregulation down the pipeline, who knows? It could be a $500 stock by 2030, right? I mean, big market. It's still a very small cap. It's only 5 billion. So 10x from here puts that at 50 billion market cap. And that puts that at a 600 stock, 600. So I'm just looking really far out. Bear case, it goes back to all-time highs, goes to 202, 10 billion market cap. But you're talking about, disease. You're talking about editing genes, reducing, who knows? I don't even know what the capabilities are, but it is the leader. So keep your eye on CRISPR. We got cybersecurity. I don't have nothing in here, but here's one, Datadog. This is actually a cloud play. So if you're into cloud computing, blah, 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 this is one of the best platforms where you kind of eliminate having to do cybersecurity, because it has, the infrastructure. This is cloud computing infrastructure for websites. I wish I was smarter to explain it, but keep your eye on this. My brother's a computer engineer. He's very bullish on Datadog, says they have some of the best tech. Who are they competing with? Microsoft, Amazon, but they're not a $1 trillion company yet. They're at 47 billion. And this is a cloud play, right? This is a cloud play. So they have built-in, built-in cybersecurity. That's as deep as I can go. I can't understand it too much. There's more. I have research that dives deeper, but I just cannot memorize all this stuff. Too much for my brain. I'm looking at technicals, right? Now, roadblocks, huge network. I mean, this is a Gen X, no, Gen Z. Gen Z. These are the new generation networks. Everybody plays freaking Roblox. Holy I'm 34. I don't play that crap. I'm like, what the hell? Who's going to do that? But it looks fun. They're communities, right? So it's already up too much. I wouldn't chase Roblox here, but you're investing in a network that could turn into who knows what in the future. This might be the next, for my generation, it's Instagram, Facebook, right? Facebook/Instagram. They're not using Instagram and Facebook. These kids that are 10 years old, they're on Roblox. So you're looking at a media / online community, probably going to have a lot of advertising spend on it. Who knows? You want to own a little bit of Roblox when it gets crushed. It's starting to roll over. Hopefully it comes back down to, let's see, where can this go? Let's go to the all-time low. I think it's too overextended. So maybe we get a push down to 70s, 80s, 80s, 70s. I don't know. Let me dial it back. Where's all the volume at? Here's the high. Here's the pullback. Yeah, I want to say 80. I want to say I'll start a position around 80, 70, 80. It's up a lot. But yeah, this is the future. Okay. It's a community. So basically it's like Meta. You have unlimited cash cow. Very early too. What's the market cap on Roblox? 71 billion. Okay. It's probably a 250 billion company as they innovate, right? Unity software. I do not know how to explain this, but Unity software, I wouldn't say tiny position, right? So they basically develop the infrastructure for 3D games. So I don't really know how they can make a lot of money. I need to do more research, but some smart people told me this thing can be huge if they execute. They have some financial issues. Leadership in the company is not the best. So they're having issues, but that's where the opportunity is, right? When a company is having a lot of issues, the price gets suppressed. But in a bull market like this, you get rate cuts, you're going to get more investment, you're going to get more financing for them to execute. So they just need better leadership and they need to be more consistent. But I would keep your eye on Unity software. This is gaming. So we're talking about gaming here. And last but not least, actually, we're going to go back to AI, cloud computing, but we also have quantum computing. Now, this is whole new industry, right? These are up too much for me. I know everybody's talking about quantum. Look at the technicals. Wait for them to get crushed. So you have quantum computing. How far does it fall? Let's do VWAP on this. We got to do anchored VWAP from the previous low. So maybe like $12 for QUBT, right? Somewhere around 12, 13. It's at what, 17? Maybe start a position there. Let's go to D-Wave. D-Wave Quantum. They're just up too much. They're up too much. They make no money. Some of them do. Some of them make money. All right. But Quantum is huge. I wish I had so here we go. $10. So if this comes back to 10, I think it's a buy. I think it's a buy around 10. D-Wave Quantum. How about Rigetti? Now this is a huge, I like this setup. Look at that. Gigantic flag, right? Or wedge, gigantic wedge pattern. Market cap is, I just like this one better by looking at it. It's a 4 billion market cap. It's not as big as those other ones. So it's ready to break out. Let's go to the low. It's around, this one looks way better to me. Now, how big can quantum computing be? I don't know, but I'm sure we're talking, I mean, Google's in quantum computing. So these could be $100 billion stocks. They could be in the hundreds of billions in market cap as the money supply expands. Everybody says, oh, that's too big. Well, you never know. Maybe 50 billion. But I would definitely be either, I like Rigetti and I like IonQ better, right? So this one's a good setup. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind dipping a little bit now, but I'm going to wait for the breakout. I want to see the volume actually pick up. And if we look at the momentum, it's trying to pick up. It looks a little sloppy. It's kind of sloppy here. But the tighter it gets, the closer you're getting to the real breakout. And it might just gap up on you. I don't know. I'd be more likely to scale in on Rigetti than quantum skate or quantum blah 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 whatever. IonQ, this is supposed to be the best one, right? Supposedly IonQ. And I'm going to be doing on the newsletter, you're going to get a deeper dive on the competitive advantages of these companies, right? Their competitive advantages, how one might be better than the other. So subscribe to that newsletter. It's free. Technical is not as good. It's also trying to reset, but it's in a trend. I mean, this is a strong trend, right? This is a very strong upside trend. So if we go to that last pullback, you're looking at $34 a share to start scaling in. And yeah, I wouldn't buy it up here. It's going to fall, right? So Rigetti, IonQ, tiny positions in all these, tiny positions. Unless you can get a leap call till 2027, the options chains really suck. That's the only bad side. BMNR. Now, this is the one, right? This might be a trade for me. I'm keeping my eye on it. It's 3 o'clock. I'm probably going to buy some more shares. Probably gaps down to 34. If this does a micro strategy type pump with Ethereum, probably goes to 500. So it's at a 300 million, no, 270 million market cap. This thing could easily go to the 2, 3, 4, 5 billion, right? 5 billion. So 10x from here, 10, 20x from here. That's a $400 stock. Let's be conservative and say this thing goes to about 300. I know that doesn't sound conservative, but you really don't know. All you know is there's a lot of potential upside here. That volume tells you the whole thing. So let's go ahead and throw on the anchored VWAP, right? Now, technically, you don't want to get long until it gets above the anchored VWAP. That's where the volume weighted average is. So around 60, but I still want to dip buy. I want to dip buy a little bit, not too big, very small size. And then when it picks up and gets above anchored VWAP around 60, then I'll dive in a little deeper. Let's see what the profile tells us. Yeah, this is why I got in a little bit, then I got out. I'm going to wait for it to get down here. This is where all that gap is at. Look at all this gap. I'm thinking 30, somewhere in the 30s, low 30s. I'm going to get long. I'm going to start adding in the low 30s if it gaps down there, right? I'll probably buy a little bit now because I got FOMO. Because Ethereum's already breaking out, right? And that shouldn't even be under quantum computing, though. My bad. All right, so robots, Tesla, by far. I mean, come on. Tesla, everybody's waiting for Tesla. Tesla looks good. All right. So with Tesla, we're forming a let's go ahead and take should we take that off? Yeah, we could take it off. Tesla is forming a wedge, as always, right? Wedge pattern. The tighter it gets, the closer we are to the breakout. It's eating up bad news. There's a lot of bad news. It's just eating up the bad news. Bad news after bad news after bad, because it's not about cars. It's about those humanoid robots. It's about energy storage, which is that business is growing tremendously. And it's also about manufacturing anything, right? Their robots are building they have factories that can build any device. They're probably going to do cell phones. They're probably going to be competing with Joby and Joby and Archer to build, what do I call them? Vertical takeoff taxis, right? Flying taxis. They'll probably build flying taxis. They could do it faster, cheaper, more efficient than anybody else. It'll take time, but you're buying the future here, right? You're looking at 2030, 2035 is when these products really start to go in motion. Tesla has a very long pipeline of potential here. It's still the early stages, to be honest. Humanoid robots, probably the biggest by far. A lot of potential. So yeah, I'm still waiting on it. I did get a leap call though, a 2027 leap call. I got one after we had support here. If we go deeper, I'll buy another one. If we break out, I'll buy another one. If I have enough capital, who knows? But Tesla for sure. Yeah, Tesla looks great. You're just you're winding up here. Now let's go to Deer. I'm not a big fan of this. Is probably more of a defense. I don't want to say defensive play, but they have a lot of robots. Okay, this is when the economy picks up. You need the ISM to pick up, and John Deere is more of a safer, stabilized play. I should have Caterpillar up here too. Caterpillar and Deere are going to be my two top industrial. Should we call it manufacturing? Not really. Yeah. Machines, right? These are at the top line for machines, building machines for infrastructure. So as the economy expands, you need more buildings, you need more building machines. These are the machines that build the machines. Caterpillar is probably going to break out. I like Caterpillar. It's a little overbought though. Right? Now here's a small cap play. Serve robots. Okay, this is a trade. They could be disrupted, but it's a food industry play. Right? They deliver food, no human involved. I think they're in California. You got a nice flag pattern there. This is probably a trade. Needs to reset at the bottom. Could be a long-term play also. It's a very small market cap. Market cap is $500 million. How big could it get? Maybe 5 billion. I don't know. If they disrupt food delivery at a cheaper price, that's a lot of revenue right there, right? This is going to be very volatile, but keep your eye on Serve Robots. If this thing, I'm looking at the flag. If this flag breaks out, I mean, $500 million, just go ahead and 10x it. Let's go to 100. Let's just go to 100. Now, is it going to be trading at 100? No, it's going to go up to 100 and it's going to fall to 50 and it's going to fall to 20, maybe 25 and then go back up. So it's going to be volatile. But in this bull market where you have the best setup of all time, a lot of stimulus, new innovations, all these technologies converging, buy the dip when it gets nasty of the innovation, right? Buy the dip. All right. So let's go to drones. These are also part of robotics, in my view. I think they're going to be AI drones for war. Really, the US has to compete. And so there's a lot of government initiatives when it comes to these drones. I was a little too late on them. I was watching them, but I was like, I don't like the price action. Truth is, you're not going to get good price action on these damn drones because they just look weird. They just trade differently, right? But this one's breaking out to all-time highs. This is Aero Vermont. I can't even say it, but they're supposed to be the best drone technology. They get government contracts. So you got Evolve. No, it's not Evolve. It's Aerodynamics. Aerovironment. Why the hell is the name so complicated? Anyways, this is expensive as hell. The options suck. So I'm like, but this is a good one. Also you have Kratos going straight up. Kratos defense. Look how straight up these are, though. This is why I don't like them. There's no room. You have the last pullback was February, April. They don't really give you a good pullback. So what do? Maybe you just buy one share and just let it run. And then when it gets crushed, you buy more. I don't like the price action, the risk reward, especially when there's other stuff out there. But these are part of the robotics play, in my view. Now, Symbotic, we talked about this before at 30. I mean, the first breakout was around 25, but it wasn't clear that the macro conditions were going to be clean. And then we started to break over 30. We ran to about 50. We got stuck. I think this one this is a long play. I like this one. What are we at? We're at a 27 billion market cap. This is a robotic manufacturing. So they have contracts with Walmart, Target, I think Costco, maybe not. But they're doing inventory. They can probably expand into other industries other than just retail because you have robots all working in a factory, increasing margins. Is it a network effect? Well, maybe not a network effect, but if they compete with Amazon, other retailers do not want to. If you're competing against Amazon, you don't want to buy Amazon's tech. So you're going to go to Symbotic. That's my thesis on it. You're going to go to Symbotic and say, look, we need robots. We need to stack inventory. We need to, lower or increase our margins, lower our costs. And you guys are going to do it faster. These robots work 24/7. All you got to do is power the robots. You need electricity. And that's why you go buy what? You go own who's going to power these robots? You go own these power generation plays. All these technologies are converging. You just want to own a little bit of them. You're going to get a lot of upside when it comes. Oh, here's another. I forgot to put this one up here. RCAT. I'm pissed because I had bought a leap call on it and I thought it was breaking out here. Literally, as soon as I sell it, I was like, oh, this looks like trash. As soon as I sell it, a day later, they get a contract with the government. Boom. Now, this one does look better technically, and it's a smaller cap. We like to chase stuff that's smaller in a bull market because it has more upside. Market cap is 800 million versus Aero Vermonte, whatever the hell it is. This one is 13 billion, right? 13 billion. And then Kratos is 8 billion. So this one's 1 billion. RCAT, Red Cat has a cool name too. Red Cat sounds pretty good. I like the trend. Look at that trend. It's a good trend. So I'm probably going to buy back into it a little bit, right? Over 10 is really the breakout. That's where a lot of traders come in and give that little boost. So watch it over 10. Okay. I gave up on it and then I knew it was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. It's all good though. So those are your drone plays. Just keep this on your watch. I'm just trying to throw stuff out. And if you guys want to look again, go subscribe to the newsletter. I have a lot of these on there. And so you're just going to get an update, every week, every 2 weeks or whatever on the economy. The reason I'm not doing a whole lot of macro stuff, it's the macro already set up. It is set up for you. It's time to pick stocks. The macro is clean, right? The macro is clean, a clean macro setup. So we can go through some other stuff now. What did we miss? AI hardware, cloud computing. Oh yeah, cloud computing. Twilio is a good one for cloud computing. This is all AI. It's all AI cloud computing. Twilio, Shopify. Everybody's familiar with Shopify. These are probably going to make a comeback soon. Dang, Shopify has been down a lot. 177 down to 114. You know who I like though? CRM. CRM should make a comeback here under 300. I mean, it's been downtrending for a whole year. 6 months. So CRM, that's, these are robots. These are agentic robots, agents. So agents for productivity growth. I mean, this is going to be a vicious bull market. So you don't have to just buy the index, right? If you want to be, simple, buy the index, but the index is not going to give you enough returns to beat the market. You want to pick stocks that have a competitive advantage, that are clearly heading for a monopoly at a good price. That's why some of these I'm like, nah, don't buy it yet. Wait for it to get crushed. That are ahead, and they're part of these themes that are driving the global economy in the next 10 years. Twilio, Shopify, MongoDB. This one should be good too. MongoDB. This is kind of competing with Datadog, MongoDB and Datadog. I'll do a deeper dive on this in the newsletter. Yeah, these are all solid. Amazon looks great. I mean, Amazon's gonna kill. By the way, I gotta buy a pickleball paddle, man. They're like 60% off. I play pickleball, so I gotta buy that from freaking Amazon before I forget. Amazon looks good, man. Sheesh. Web services. Microsoft, I wouldn't buy. All-time high. Microsoft, nah, I'm not interested. Too big. Google, yeah, I like Google. Google's down from all-time highs. They still have quantum computing on the backside. And when the quantum computing makes more progress, this thing's gonna jump. I mean, it's the most visited website, right? YouTube and Google are the most visited website. They still have a lot of juice. I even like Apple, but I think Apple's getting disrupted. I wouldn't even say Apple's a growth stock anymore. I think it's turning into a value stock. I still like it at these levels. It's not disappearing, right? But as soon as it gets back to all-time highs and makes new highs, I'm out. Let's see, what do we have here? JP Morgan, Swift, Worldly. Yeah, so the economy looks great. I mean, it's good because the economy is slowing a little bit. That's perfect for the Fed. That's perfect for markets. That's more stimulus for markets. That's why I'm so bullish here. You're getting fiscal stimulus. Tokenization is the biggest industry, I think. Check this out. Tokenization of all real world assets. Okay, this is why I'm so bullish on Chainlink. Chainlink is going to capture pretty much the most share out of tokenization. It's just so early, it's hard to know for a lot of people, but I see it. Tokenization is set to go from 5 billion. It was a $5 billion industry back in 2023. It is now 25 billion. So it grew almost 500% in 1 year. Tokenization of all real world assets, right? That is set to go to 30 trillion, 16 to 30 trillion by 2030, somewhere around there. What does that mean? The industry, tokenization is the fastest growing industry out of all themes. Faster than AI, faster than power generation, faster than quantum computing. This is the fastest growing industry. This is not Bitcoin. This is Ethereum and Chainlink. But Ethereum's 300 billion. So yeah, great. I mean, it's going to grow. But Chainlink can soar. Chainlink is at 10 billion. It can soar. It is considered an altcoin, but it is critical market infrastructure. It is critical market infrastructure capturing the fastest growing industry in the world. This is why I'm so bullish on it. Okay. It connects all blockchains. It is the middleware. So Ethereum is a platform for the stable coins, but JP Morgan, right? They have their own blockchain. They needed Chainlink to connect it to the real world. They needed Chainlink to connect it to Aave, to connect it to other crypto projects, to on-ramp the new financial system. There is a new financial system that is being implemented and integrated as we speak, right? Swift, international messaging system for what? KYC, know your customer. It's basically the security compliance part of the market that has to be disrupted first. So compliance, finance is complicated. There's so many layers to finance. But if you get the compliance stuff first, which is, making sure the system, the underlying security part of the system is able to run on blockchain. That's what Chainlink is on ramping right now. Then you start to move to Visa, MasterCard. You start to move to all JP Morgan, right? You start to move to the more fringe stuff. But this is I'm telling you, Chainlink is the underlying infrastructure to the next generation of not just finance, to the next generation of internet itself, because it is data transfer technology, right? This is the system, the infrastructure to process data through blockchains, because they can't speak to each other, right? They're like computers without an internet connection. They cannot speak to each other. They need that middleware. And it's not just the transfer. With that middleware comes other services, right? They're doing data feeds. They're also doing computing. That gets so technical. I wish I was smarter, right? I wish I was smarter. But I am developing this thesis for you guys. And on top of that, you have proof of reserves. That's going to be huge. You're going to be able to prove something is true. Chainlink is the infrastructure, the critical market infrastructure for the next generation of web, right? Web services, which is the verifiable web. Right now, you can't verify stuff because of cybersecurity threats, because AI deepfakes, blah, 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 because of how the systems are built. But with blockchain technology like Chainlink, you can prove that stuff, you can prove things are there and they calculate in real time. It's like a real-time audit on top of that. So you eliminate all these jobs. You don't need them anymore, right? It's automation technology. Plus, it's verifiable. So now you can verify truth. You could not do that before. You can now verify truth on the internet. You can't get fooled. It's game over. Do you guys see the future here? This is Chainlink. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so. I think this is the biggest bet in markets. I think Chainlink is the biggest bet in all markets because nobody sees it yet. They don't see price spike, so they're like, I don't know. The price isn't moving. Just wait. Just wait. The narrative is coming. You're just so freaking early, right? The verifiable web, also zero knowledge proof. I mean, these things are big. Now, I'm not saying they're like, if it goes to 100, that kind of eliminates a lot of the upside. It's early now. This is early now. If price goes to 50, then you reduce a lot of that opportunity. If it goes to 100, you reduce a lot of the opportunity. I think it's going to $1 trillion by 2032. That's what I think. I think it does 100x. I think it's the only coin that can do 100x. That's not a meme coin that can do 100x that actually has real application. Can Bitcoin do 100x from here? Sure, but maybe over 50 years, right? Maybe over 15 or 20 years. Chainlink can do this in 7 years. Ethereum could do 100x in 10 years, in 15 years, maybe 10. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Ethereum does it faster. But if Ethereum does 100x, Chainlink's doing 1000x, right? It is the critical market infrastructure. Ethereum is the property. It is the digital property that people need to go to in order to build their services. Chainlink is the connection for those services and the compliance and the security for those services to actually work. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink. That's the biggest bet in the market outside of Tesla. Obviously, Tesla's a monster, but Tesla's very expensive. Okay. I still think Tesla will be the biggest stock, the biggest company in the world, right? Next to SpaceX. That's what I think. But that's a lot of capital intensive stuff. It's going to take time, investment. These are applications. These are software applications. As soon as they apply, boom, just like lightning bolts, right? They go up. So that's my thesis on that. We'll see. That narrative will come online eventually. What else is there out here? I mean, that's it. That's my thesis, man. You guys stay blessed. I appreciate. Did you have any questions or anything or comments? I can bring comments on stage. Does this work? Show comments on stage. Oh, shoot. Okay. I didn't even see that. So yeah, that's my thesis. I think Chainlink's going to boom. I like Tesla again, but this is my biggest bet. I'm just warning you guys so you remember the Chainlink guy, right? The only black guy that talks about Chainlink. Everybody else is white or Chinese or Asian. They're smart. They're way smarter than me. I don't really see any black guys talking about this. Okay. It's like, why are you saying that? I don't know. I just think it's funny. I think it's funny. I'm not even the guy who brought it up either. It's freaking my brother. He's actually the smart one. He's been doing all the research. He's a computer engineer. We've been looking at this for years. I've sold everything for this. I'm all in, and I've been hurting. Don't get me wrong. I've been hurting. So yeah, there's a reason why I'm talking about it. I want it to go up, but I think it's a good opportunity also. I'm not just saying it because it's not like I have 16 people on here. You think you guys are going to move the market? No, you're not going to move the market. I'm just trying to get you in early. I was early on Tesla. I went all in. I was early on Palantir. I went all in and lost 100,000. So I effed up on that one. Now I'm all in on this, right? And it's early. So anyways, you guys have a good weekend. Stay blessed. Eat healthy. Feed yourself good, positive things. Cut people off if they're toxic for you. Focus on the right things. Try to improve yourself. Make the world a better place, however you can. And I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. Sub to my YouTube if you can. Help me out. Trying to figure this thing out, how to get more people out there. They should be bullish. If you talk to somebody, let them know they should be bullish as hell. All right, you guys stay blessed. I'll catch you next time. Thank you.